Okay, let's basically start from the end here. Sensation Comics issue number 10. The last panel that you're seeing on screen here, you see Steve saying that he's asking for Wonder Woman to forgive him. There's a bunch of interesting things going on with this panel because first of all, they are in an embrace here, which I think is the first time we've actually seen Steve and Wonder Woman both mutually expressing likeness, like intimate likeness for each other. I don't think that we've gotten this before in any of the previous issues. We know that Steve was admiring Wonder Woman, but we didn't really get like a definitive confirmation then, like he actually loves her more than just admiring her as this mysterious protective figure. And we know that Diana actually does have feelings for Steve, but we never got her expressing those feelings while she was Wonder Woman. We did get it though a little bit here and there when she's in the regular nurse's outfit. That's one of the things here. It's like the writer basically just say, hey, let's just skip the development and the hints or whatever. Let's just go full on this panel. They both like each other, so we can move on after that. That's pretty much it. And the next thing here, he mentions that he only made love to Dolly in the line of duty. So that implies that something happened off screen, because to backtrack a little bit to earlier in this issue, Steve was seen hanging out with this redhead, this young woman. Wonder Woman tracked him down. Both Wonder Woman and Diana were kind of getting in Steve's way in a sense. I've always fancied physical products a lot of times more than digital, because there's a different energy that flows through you when you have the thing in your hands. And also having the physical product in some ways feels like validation. This is a version of Carrot from One Piece. This was made with primarily foam. But anyway, guys, peace. So Steve suspected that Wonder Woman saw him hanging out with this girl, but he was undercover. Now the girl is kind of working with spies, but at the same time Steve is tricking her, so they're both tricking each other. But we never really got any intimate scenes of the two. We got a scene where Dolly drugged Steve. Steve gave her some codes. It turns out that the codes are fake. But that's all we got. We didn't really get any kissing and anything like that. But apparently stuff happened off screen. I don't know what else to say. Like, this is as clearly as you can put it without actually spelling it out in this type of setting, in this type of comic, right? He's pretty much saying that so he slept with Dolly, but it was in the line of duty. So whatever, Wonder Woman forgave him, so that's that. But to backtrack a little bit, to backtrack further, to go right back to the actual start here, this issue is, as I said, Diana is suspicious of Steve. Steve is missing Wonder Woman. No interest at all in Diana. It seems like his interest in Diana kind of fluctuates from sort of interested in her to don't really care. She is here. She's just a competent co-worker. So his feeling seems to be swiveling between those two low ends of the spectrum romantically in regards to Diana. But for Wonder Woman, it's off the charts. At least in this issue, it is. So that's how it started, and then of course Diana spots him with Dolly, etc., etc. The most interesting part for me in this issue, though, is when Dolly, Wonder Woman visited Dolly, tried to confront her, um, because she saw the spies leaving Dolly's apartment. But she visited Dolly again later on. Dolly sprayed this perfume that the spies gave her to, so she tricked Wonder Woman, knocked her out, made a comment about only a woman can outsmart a woman, and then they tried to tie her up. But one of the bosses of the spies, he said that tying her with ropes is useless. He said that the Baroness told him that you have to weld her bracelets together. And this is why this is interesting, because at first, when the Baroness thought that that chains is what made Wonder Woman weak, and of course I said in one of the whatever issue that was, I said that that is they're getting close to figuring it out. That was close, but it wasn't chains. You have to weld the bracelets together with chains. It's not just putting any sort of chain, tying her up in any sort of chain. But that Wonder Woman pretended like that made her weak, and eventually she broke free of that. So my guess is that the Baroness, based on all of the characters, I don't know if she's dead right now. She's probably coming back or not, I don't know. But based on all of the characters that we've seen, the Baroness, for a regular human character, the Baroness is probably the smartest character that I have seen in the entire series. And it's not even close. Like, apart from Wonder Woman herself, the Baroness is like overall the smartest character in the series. What I'm guessing here, call this headcanon if you want, but I think that this is what happened. When she thought that it was chains that made Diana weak, because remember, Diana was weakened before when she was chained, when the bracelets were welded together, but they didn't know exactly that was specifically what made her weak. But they know that, okay, she wasn't functioning how she would. She didn't escape when you think that she should escape, so therefore she was definitely weak in that instant. And then of course she got out of that, which wasn't entirely her doing, but she got free. The Baroness thought it was chains, tied her up in chains, and then she broke free easier than how she did before. So it's easy for her to put two and two together at that point. For someone that is smart and for someone that pays attention, it was easier for the Baroness to actually piece that together and be like, okay, she was weak before, I know that for a fact. But yet, when I put her in chains, she broke free on her own when she wanted to break free. But she was weak before. Aha! It's not just chains. It has to be welded, because that's the only difference between the two instances where she had Wonder Woman chained up. So she told this spy dude that, and so he was able to do that to Wonder Woman. But luckily, it's a woman that welded the thing together. So this is another thing that not even I knew. It has to be men to weld it together for it to work against Diana. I have my doubts, but I truly hope that the Baroness gets some sort of superpower. And because we've yet to see someone tussle with Diana physically. So I would like to see that. I think that she's the perfect character just for them to give something to, for her to fight Diana, because we've seen her invent some crazy stuff. She has been literally dead and brought back to life. So it's only fair, I think. But anyway, that is it.